everybody and welcome to almost the end of our Back to Basics project. The journal itself is completed, I think. Pretty sure that's completed. So now what we need to move on to is the cover. Now don't be afraid of the cover. It's nothing to be afraid of. I have selected this fabric actually. It's a very fine cotton, but I thought it just went so well with this journal. It's really pretty. So all that I've done is this. This is what I've done. I have taken a piece of card, and this could be card from a cereal box, or something you've received one of those keep flat letters in, or anything like that. Just a piece of card that is, now this piece of card here is A4, and that's what we've used for our journal. We've just folded it in half. So if you take your piece of the same size as your journal, put this down on your card and allow about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. That will give us, the journal will just sit nicely inside there. So take your piece of A4, your piece of letter, whatever it may be, and draw 1/4 of an inch around each edge and cut it out. So then you have this, and that's what we're going to make our cover out of. Now it's not really solid, it's not hard cardboard, it's just, this is going to be what they call a soft cover. So what you do then is get your fabric, place the piece of card that you've sized onto there, and then draw 1 inch around all the edges. So this is 1 inch wider and taller all the way around than your piece of card. Okay, so that's going to go on there, and you don't have to be a genius to see what we're doing. That's going to be the cover. It's going to be lovely. Now, because my cotton is so thin, I'm really loath to put glue to glue it down, because I think the glue will come through and then it looks ugly, so we don't want that. So I'm going to use some dry adhesive. I'm going to use double-sided tape. So let's just get this double-sided tape in place. So right around all the edges, that's the first thing to do. If your fabric or paper or whatever you're using will stand glue, that's great, use glue, ordinary glue, but I just don't think that my fabric will stand it, to be honest with you. So you just carry on around all the edges. I'm a bit ham-fisted with double-sided, I'll I make no bones about it. So that's our 4 edges done, like that. And then we need to put some in the middle to hold it in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it about every inch. It's not the cheapest way of doing things, this, but you need to hold it in place. So I'll carry on with that, and I'll join you when I've finished the entire thingamy. Okay, now, so I've got all my double-sided on, and you can see there's quite a lot. If you're using paper instead of fabric, like I am, then I'm pretty sure you'd be all right with glue, because it's paper, it's what we do all the time. But I opted to use this, this fabric, so I'm going to use it. So now I need to take off all of my bits of double-sided. Well, I'm going to take it up to halfway, actually. I'm going to do half and half. It's enough to contend with in one go, I think. So right where the sort of middle is, I've put 3 strips back to back. So that's my exact middle in there. So let's just take these back to halfway as well. Let's take them there and fold them over and be ready for when we need them for the other half. And fold that over there. Right, so let's get rid of all this. Does seem excessive amounts of double-sided, but that's the problem when you use fine fabric. Okay, so I'm going to place my fabric. This is non-directional. They're all the same. Upside down and wrong ways round, everything. They're all, it's multi-directional. So I'm going to take my paper, my card, and I'm going to put it 1 inch inside the edge of there, and I'm just going to stick that side down. And what I want to do now is just gently pull the fabric and carry on sticking. It does help if you're kind of ambidextrous at this stage. But that's that. Let's have a look what it looks like. Yeah, that looks fine. Make sure it's exactly where you want it before you get your bone folder on it and squish it in for life. But I'm pretty happy with that. I like that. So now we've got the other side to do, and it's just the same malarkey. Let's take these 2 end pieces off and all the other pieces. Don't cut your fabric when you're doing that. It's not what you want. So, I mean, we're really nearly finished now. It's quite exciting. It's always exciting when you finish a journal. Right, so it's just the same. So we're just going to go apply a little bit of tension to that fabric, and we're just going to go across it like that, sticking it down bit by bit with a little bit of tension on the fabric. You don't want too much, otherwise it'll make your card curl up, so that's not what you want. But that looks pretty good. Nice and flat. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So I'm just making sure it's down with the flat edge of my bone folder, and that looks lovely. I really like that. So we don't even have to allow for drying time with this because it's a dry adhesive. So the next thing to do is more double-sided, and we're going to go around all 4 sides again. And if you've got thicker double-sided, that's great. This that I'm using I think is 1/4 inch, but if you had 1/2 inch, that would be just fabulous. Save you a lot of work. But use what you've got. And as I say, if you're using paper instead of fabric, just use glue. So you might want to consider that before you embark on the cover. I love fabric covers. I love the feel of them in my hand. There we go. Right, so now I just need to see, yeah, and I need another row of this, and I need it, just make a little mark there. I need it to come inside of that, which, yeah, I mean that's the inch that we allowed. So like there. It doesn't matter if it's not exact. Don't panic if it's not exact. Because we'll be covering the inside as well with something. So it's okay. A lot of sticking. Okay, there we go. So just burnish those down and then we can pull around the edge of our fabric. So make sure you burnish them down, that's important. Let me move these out of the way. Two sides. Three sides, so this must be the last side. Okay, right. So I'm going to do this long sides first. It doesn't matter, you can do any side first, but I'm just going to do the long side. So I'm going to remove the double-sided from the long side here. And also, I'm going to just remove that little bit there and fold it back a little bit. Like that. Like that. Like that. And this little one as well, maybe. Just a little bit. Okay, so there we go. Now then, the first thing that I always do is the corners. You need to address the corners. And if you're doing paper, it's a kind of different procedure. But for this very thin cotton, I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my corner, the very corner, and fold it up so it's 90 degrees there. So it's you're making a triangle there, like that. Okay, and then you want to do the same with the other side, like that. So you've got that stuck down there. Now the thing is, now we've got that, we haven't actually got any double-sided on here. So we'll just pop a little bit on there. It doesn't really matter because, as I say, it's going to have paper on the top of this, so don't worry too much. Just a little bit. Like that, burnish it. Take that off. There we go, and same on the other side. Just two little bits. One there, and one on the other side. So there we go. So that's that corner sorted. Pick off the release paper and you're away. Right, so next thing is we need to fold this in. So start in the middle is always the best place to start. Fold it in, but don't pull it. Tension it, but don't pull it. Just like that. There you go. And along here. So it's got a nice bit of tension on, but you haven't pulled it, because if you pull it, there's a danger that the card that you're using will buckle. So that's one side nicely done. So I'm going to do the other side in exactly the same manner. So I'll see you again in a sec. Okay, so we've got our two longer edges all nicely covered, neat and tidy. So it's just time to do the two shorter ones now. So just pull off this double-sided release tape. Now just make sure that you've got a nice crease there. And that's that one done. So I've got a lovely corner there. And this one, same thing. Just make sure it's a nice crease. And then all the way along. That's that. Lovely. So we've got our corners on that side. And let's take this off. And just pull that up like that. Lovely. And this one. So you're pulling it into the centre and making sure that crease is nice. And then this. Lovely. So there we have it. We've got our cover. Look at that. It's lovely, isn't it? It's really nice. Now, the thing that needs to happen now is anything that you want to put on the front that you might want brads in, or you might want to sew it or anything like that, now is the time before we put the paper on the back. I don't have anything, I don't think, that I want to sew or anything like that, really, I don't think. What I'm going to put on the front of mine is, I think I sent it flying. Yeah, this is the pink that I've been using throughout the journal, and I'm just going to cut down a piece. And actually, right at the end of making the journal, I found all the die cut pieces that I'd bought along with the kit, which, oh dear, it's a bit too late, but never mind. So what I thought I would do is use one of these pieces. It came with these two beautiful deer and fawn. So I thought I might put that on there. And then this little Bambi's gorgeous. I thought I might just have him like that. So that's going to be, I think, the front of my journal. I'll stick that down. I'm going to put it onto this, because I think if you just put it straight onto the pattern, you don't see it really very well. So I'm going to put it onto my pink card and then cut it out. So let's do that now. Let's get that arranged where we want it. I'm going to cut round it so it doesn't really matter where it is on the page. So I want that about there. So let's just make a little mark where we want that to go. Because otherwise, oh yeah, I need to write top on there. Then I might have some chance. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that down with art glitter. I'm not going to ink around it. I'm going for the nice clean look. Yeah, my art glitter started acting up yesterday. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's got something in the nozzle that it doesn't like. Cleans out quite easily, so I'll carry on for the time being. Probably need to take the nozzle off and boil it up or something, I don't know. I don't know. Clean it out somehow anyway. So I'm giving this plenty of glue because you definitely don't want it to come off your cover. Definitely you don't. There we go. Let's stick the top back on it. Right, so where's my top? There's my top. And that was that bit there, I think. Yeah, okay. Lovely, so I've got that on. Make sure it's stuck on nicely. Oh, actually, I was going to stick him behind, wasn't I? I think I might have blown that chance. Yeah, I have. I'll have to put him there, I think. They are going there. So let's put them on next. Oh, look at that. It's been in a very awkward frame of mind. Yeah, there is something in there that shouldn't be. Come on, glue. But you can make any decoration that you want on your front cover. You know, it's your journal. You do what you want. This glue is really, really, really getting on my weight now. And let's just see if I can get enough out to stick this bit on. Yeah, I think that's all right. I'm going to give it to Mr. F because he's good at fixing things like that. Right, so let's pop this down here. Right there, I think. Quite like there. Yeah. That might be all I need, actually. I don't know, quite like that. I've got other things. I've got 60 pieces. This was not the time to find them, was it? Right at the end of the journal. But, you know, I've still got quite a lot of paper left anyway, so another journal might be... Got that bird. That's quite nice, actually. That one, but he's sitting in a pile of flowers anyway. What else have I got? Let's just go with that bird. I like him. I've also got that gorgeous deer. Isn't that beautiful, this little baby one here? But she didn't look quite right there. So I'm gonna use the bird. I'm gonna have it just landing on there like that. Yeah. And I'm going to use my collar because Mr. F's got my art glitter. Thank you. Art glitter. I'm saying thank you to myself. Nobody told me, I remembered. So there we are. Let's just wipe some of that off. There's a bit of an excess going on. So I want him just landing on the top there like that. Lovely. That's great. So that's what I want on my front cover. Don't want any more than that. And I'm just going to take my eraser and just get rid of those lines. We don't need them anymore. Okay. That's great. So now I need to chop that out with a sort of, let's get my Timmy trimmer and have a look. So I'm not going to allow much of a border all the way around. That much, 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Because I do still want to see some of the fabric. So let's do this one, the same distance. Thanks, Mr. F. Have you sorted it? Well done. Right, so there we are. And the same on the bottom. And I'm actually using this plastic thing as a guide. I've got it right to the end of the plastic thing, so there's an 1/8 of an inch after that to the blade. So let's use this one. There we go. So that's my topper, if you like, from a card, from a journal, a card. What's a card? Okay, so that's going to go on there, and I think that's going to look quite nice actually. I quite like it. I don't know about this though. Does it look a bit like it needs something on there? Shall I fussy cut the whole thing out? Oh, I'm going to have to pause and think about this one, guys. Okay, so I've had a good think. I have tried innumerable options, and what I've decided to do is use these flowers. These are Prima flowers actually, and they come in there's beautiful blues and pinks and motley colours, peppermint, spearmint colour, but I've selected these three, and I think they go quite nicely with our kit that we've been using. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to stick them on yet, however, because when I come to stick the back of the cover on, they'll just make it awkward because they won't lie flat. So I'm going to leave those out and know what I'm going to do with them, so that's great. And I also got a piece of darker pink, just slightly darker as you can see, and I thought I would just make a mat for it really. So I'm just going to mark that and then cut it, and we'll have a nice mat. It doesn't really need to be too big, just to show it off a bit more really against the fabric. So let's cut that on my Timmy trim, and then I can glue that down. I think this will just make it stand out a bit more. There we are. So just make sure you erase any of the little pencil marks. Like that, lovely. So let's just see what that looks like. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, it's tiny, you know, it's about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. But I do think, I know, I like it. So let's stick that on there. Let's use the collal because it's quite a big area. Actually, what I should have done before I do this is see where the centre is. So I'm just folding that like that. And I'm just going to make a little mark on the top there, fold it on the bottom, make a little mark on the bottom. So that's our centre line. Wow, I can hardly see it. Where is it? It's about there. Right. So I want to make sure that I get that nearer this end actually, but that's going to sit there quite nicely, I think. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Okay, so let's carry on with the gluing. Collal's probably dry by now, so we'll go back over it. Collal doesn't take very long to dry. I'm dripping glue on my mat, hopefully not anywhere where it's visible. There we go. Right, let's pop that onto there then. And the good thing about collal, as I've said to you before, is you can move it around for a little while, little minute, until you've got it exactly right. And I think that is pretty near exactly right. Fabulous. Put the lid on that. Let's just give this a minute to set up. Roll it off any glue that might be visible. Okay, that's lovely. Lovely. So let's stick that on there, and then we can concentrate on the inside cover. Yeah, that's really nice. I am, however, just going to, as you know, I'm going to put this down here so I get it straight, because I really don't want to muck the cover up. I don't want it to be all cockeyed. That would just be awful. So if I put that there, oh, it's a bit high, isn't it? Bring it down a little bit. 1.5 inches that is now. From the bottom. Let's place that there and see what gives. Let's try it at 1 inch then. That's too much. 1.25 inches. I should have measured this. It would have been so much quicker. Yeah, I think that's fine. So 1.25 inches. So I'm just gonna put collal on here. It's gonna stick onto fabric, and I believe the collal is going to be fine for that job. You can get collal fabric glue as well, but I have found it very, very runny, and it marks your fabric so quickly. You know, comes through it because it's so thin. So I'm just going to stick to the ordinary collal. See how we get on. I'm sure we'll be fine, but I shall report back if it's not. There we are. Right, let's put the lid on the glue. Okay, so I want this at 1.25 inches. So get that 1.25 inches all the way along the bottom, and then you know you're straight. Let's stick this on more to the outside than the inside. So, wow guys, we're coming on. Oh, I've got some glue right in the middle. Thank goodness we're using collal and it rolls off. So there we are. That's our cover, apart from the 3 pretty flowers that are going to go on it there. And that, I think, is enough for today. Let's let everything set up, dry up, and then when you come back tomorrow, we'll do the inside front cover, and maybe even possibly sewing the journal into the cover. Woohoo! So I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, guys. I hope you get up to the same stage as I'm at, and then you'll be ready to follow on tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.